Alright everyone, so how are we doing today? So, Donald Trump, basically, well, it's no secret that he and Jair Bolsonaro are best buddies. I'm telling you, they're both charismatics, if you know what that means. The charismatic, there's generally two types of politicians. There's business politicians that just sort of come out, say their aims, flash you a smile, and just try and be all about business, trying to be super professional. Versus the charismatic politician, who usually has a certain swagger and a certain charisma that allows them to work the crowd up into a frenzy. Speaking to the Nazi Party in 1938, not saying that Trump is Hitler. I'm not in that camp, but I'm saying that, like Trump, Hitler was a charismatic type. Like any true charismatic, they can work a crowd into a frenzy. You know, they get behind them, they use their charisma and feed and play on the crowd's desires for a particular outcome. That's part of the reason why Trump and Bolsonaro would be good friends, so closely associated, because they're both charismatics. Only, it's not just that, it's also a lot of other things too. They're a lot similar in many ways. They hold a lot of the same values, a lot of the same ideas. I mean, Bolsonaro is basically like, pretty much like if Trump was a South American Latin person, he would be Bolsonaro. I mean, really, they're that similar. And because of this relationship, I think Trump has sort of lost sight of what might seem like a lack of bias, and has decided to go ahead and basically consider designating Brazil to be a major non-NATO ally, and possibly even include them in the NATO pact. I think his personal feelings toward Bolsonaro are clouding his judgment on this, quite possibly. But this would see them sharing a status with 17 other countries, including Israel, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. Now, NATO leadership has been a little skeptical of this idea. In fact, Secretary General of the Alliance, Jens Stoltenberg, said last week that Brazil may not join the military pact, but could become a very close partner of the group. NATO is currently made up of 29 full-fledged member states and a handful of so-called aspiring members, which also includes Ukraine and Georgia. Wonder what NATO thinks of Ukraine's claim that Russia might invade. And they're grabbing up the Crimean Peninsula, which certainly putting them in a good position to do so. But we still haven't heard any more on that when that got started. I don't know, maybe they were thinking about it and then reconsidered it. Maybe they thought it was too risky. But there are tons and tons of partners in NATO. And adding Brazil to the agreement, Trump, I think, would be willing. He certainly wants to put his good buddy Bolsonaro into the pit with him. But apparently Jens Stoltenberg just doesn't agree with the idea. I mean, he's the Secretary General of the Alliance, so I think he'd probably have a little more say in the matter than would Trump. But who knows? Maybe he can make a deal with him. Maybe get Bolsonaro in there. Who knows? But bottom line is, these guys are just good buddies because they are just too much alike. I think the only person Trump loves more than himself and his wife would be Bolsonaro. It would go in this order. Trump loves himself, then his wife, his ex-wife, and then Bolsonaro. Or maybe the Bolsonaro comes before his ex-wife. But either way, these guys are close. And honestly, adding Brazil to NATO, if you honestly want my opinion, they're talking about securing bigger paying trade deals, because there have been a lot of trade deals to Brazil of our military tech over there. And we haven't been doing what we've done in the past, where we literally screwed a partner by sending them obsolete gear or stuff like that. We're sending them legit military surplus. You know, and in an agreement like NATO, I would honestly think the more the merrier, really. Because the strength of NATO as a military pact depends on the number of countries involved and the strength of those countries' militaries. Adding Brazil would only serve to strengthen the pact. Perhaps Jens Stoltenberg feels that Brazil is unworthy, and maybe so, but I just think that Trump is letting a little personal bias get in the way of his judgment, of his better judgment, because he's so, friendly with Bolsonaro. He would be willing to push him in. I think that the idea should be reviewed somewhat. It should be considered. Take the time to really evaluate. All in all, I think adding Brazil would be a good deal, but Jens Stoltenberg's idea still works, and I think for now would be the best decision. Is just not to make them a member state of NATO, but just make them a very close ally to NATO and have trade deals with NATO countries, which I think would be the better decision for now. Anyway,